This had been a dream of the MCS OA to hold its annual conference here in Garo Hills. And today this dream has been fulfilled. I must congratulate the MCS OA unit of Garo Hills region for all the hard work they have put in hosting this program. This conference serves as a platform, has been to all the MCS officials. I must congratulate the MCS OA unit of Garo Hills region for how we overcame them and to share ideas and best practices with each other. It also gives us opportunity to renew our commitment to the service and to the state, and at the same time to encourage each other to redefine, redevelop, and reorient ourselves according to the changing times and challenges ahead. On this auspicious occasion, I can't help but recollect the words of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, the first Home Minister of India, when he called the first batch of IAS as the steel frame of administration in India during his special address on April 21, 1947. In that spirit, we may perhaps call the MCS at least as the iron rods of state administration. The iron rods may not be visible to the outside world, but a building can never be strong enough to withstand the storm and test of time without iron rods in its beams, posts, and pillars. In most occasions, the MCS officials are doing the groundworks behind the stage and therefore may not be visible to the public and hence may not get the deserved appreciation. It may not be out of place to mention here that while the police has DGPs or governors or president's medals every year as rewards for their services, we MCS officials have none. While district and state government staff and officials are given Meghalaya the Excellence Award every year, MCS officials have none. But dear fellow MCS officials, that should not deter our mission and commitment to serve the people of the state. With the government incentives and support staff as the concrete mixture, together we can make a strong administrative structure which is ready for all weather conditions. Thank you, Kublai Mutela.
Being the secretary to the government of Meghalaya, the Personal Administrative Reforms Department, I am representing the Personnel Department, the department which looks after all the aspects of the Personnel Department, the officers of IS and MCS and other MSS officers and other departments. As a Personnel Department, it is the department which supposed to be taking care of all the issues and grievances of the various state services in the state as well as the IS officers. All of you know that I was also president of Meghalaya Civil Services Association. I ran for successive years, maybe about 5 to 7 terms successively. And it was a very enriching experience for me to be associated with the civil service officers. And really, the civil service officers of the state is the strength and the backbone of the administrative aspects of the state of Meghalaya. Be it IS and MCS, I see no difference with due respect to our senior officers. We are all capable, we are all very innovative. We have young officers who have been trained nicely and ready to take upon any challenges. As an MCS officer once, I was thinking I will never get into the IS, but with the help of God and every one of you, I was elevated to IS cadre, and I'm very thankful to it. And I hope that every one of you will be standing like this as in the stage one day. So I would like to congratulate all the new batch who has been inducted in the year 2021 for the Meghalaya Civil Service Administrative, and hope that all of you will do well. We have received the memorandum in the Personnel Department. My colleague friend, Madam Anita, is there. We have prepared the point-wise replies. It is not coming from me, it is coming from her also. So we have given the reply to the demands of the association and grievances, whatever is there. I hope that will be very useful and fruitful to all of you to deliberate and to discuss and share the points of the replies, so that that deliberations among yourselves will be a very fruitful one, and you will do well in your service.
The heads of the departments, they're mostly authorizers. Authorizers means they are given that mandate to, discharge certain, basically to take the state from here to here, A to B. Okay. So for example, our Chief Minister says that now housing is a priority. In the next 5 years, we should see that we'll get housing for every rural poor. So that's an authorization. It's a political mandate and elected body. But authorizers require champions. Champions are those who really work. In fact, I still remember when I was DC Tura, Mr. Ambrose Marak was my champion. He was the ADC here, and of course Mr. RP Marak was also there. But so I'm just saying the champions are very, very, very important. So champions are going to lead the work on the ground. I was just trying to say something. To lead is to die. This is a etymological meaning of the lead. Just Indo-European, the meaning of the lead is. So that kind of a sacrifice, that kind of a determination, that kind of a service motto with which actually, this entire public service, civil service really demands from us. So I'm very happy that this, you're all champions, I can see, because I have seen you, most of you in the blocks or in some directorates or in the secretariat. So very nice to see all of you. I must say that what, for the state is a very, very important. As I said, 3 people I said. One is authorizer, champions, and the third one is facilitators. Facilitators are those, who really, the technical support, who actually provides that support that is required to discharge various functions. So they are also important. But the champions are very, very important because they have a long enough period. Because for any change to bring in, you require a long enough period to really understand the subject, to do it well. So you have been there, you have been groomed for building the state. And the Meghalaya is one of the states. We would always say that. In fact, the other day there is one joint secretary from Ministry of Agriculture came, and I have been telling her, this is one state which is different, though it's a smaller state, but we really govern well. So there is a good, especially the civil services there in the state. They do differently well. So with these few words I wanted to say that I wish you best wishes to all of you, and let's keep working with that intrinsic motivation to do well, because we are building a new state and we should do it well. Yeah, thank you.
I would like also to congratulate all of you for deciding to hold this conference in Tura. Usually we find this conference being held in Shillong every year. It becomes a very routine affair, but this time bringing it all to Tura makes a difference. And happy to see that part of your program will be to discuss about the various schemes, the various good practices in the state as well as outside the state. So it's not only a conference but also a learning lesson for all of you, especially those who are at the lower level of the hierarchy. You still have a good 30 years plus to serve the state, so I'm sure that whatever you discuss over here, whatever you're going to deliberate, the case studies, the stories which have been successes all over, you'll be able to replicate, you'll be able to contribute more positively. Coming to a meeting like this, the first question we ask is, why did we all join the service? Why did we join the civil service? For me personally, I was working in the private sector at one point of time. In fact, when I joined the civil service, I was the only IAS officer at that point of time in 1993 who had credit cards. So I was having a very cushy job, very well paid job, but I was not satisfied. So the reason was that Of course, coming back to Shillong to Meghalaya was one, but then that was a risk because I didn't know what cadre I would get. But the main reason is that I'm sure everyone will resonate with what I felt, was we wanted to do something more meaningful in our lives, more meaningful, to contribute more meaningfully to whatever we do. I may be selling soap, I may be selling, in fact I was selling liquor because I was working for UP Group at that point of time in 1990. So it was a very plush job, selling liquor is really very plush because the margins are really huge. So we really did to get to enjoy a lot at a point of time. But then at the end of the day when you sleep, what are you doing, After doing your engineering, after doing your MBA, many of you are very well qualified. Is this the job that you've got to do? Selling liquor and ensuring that somebody else gets rich? Either you moved away, make yourself rich, or contribute more meaningfully to the society. So I decided the second route was easier. To become an entrepreneur is always easier said than done. So I decided that, okay, I'll give a try, and I'm sure you'll all agree that one of the reasons is that you will all make a meaningful contribution in your life. And how do you make a meaningful contribution in your life? One of the most important is to be sensitive towards the need of the people. People come and meet you in your offices. I've said this before. You'll be sitting in your chamber, you'll be busy on your phone, you'll be busy on your files. But remember that somebody who needs you is not because he or she loves you, that's why I want to come and see you in the office. They need you. They require your service. They are waiting for you outside. So the least you can do is, number one, have patience. They will come with very vague requests. I've got so many vague requests in my life that it's embarrassing to even tell some of them. Be patient with them. They are people who are poor, who are in a quandary, in a problem, that's why they come and meet you. Therefore, if you want to make this meaningful contribution which I'm talking about, be patient with the people who come and meet you. Try to explain to them, don't be rude to them. And although you may not be able to quantify that contribution, it is a big contribution you are making by talking nicely, by talking properly to the person who needs your intervention. Second is perseverance. You may meet people and all that, they'll come and nag you again and again. They'll come and tell you again and again, my work is not done and all that. You'll have to be patient, you have to have that perseverance in you. It will eventually happen one day. You have to tell them, you have to explain to them properly. And that is also very, very important, to give that confidence to the person who comes and meet you. Third is that you have to be polite at least. It doesn't cost you anything. There's no deduction from your salary if you are polite to people. Of course, there's no deduction if you are rude also. But at least that person's satisfaction is there. If somebody comes and meets you and goes out of the room and say, at least the person, even if he said that he cannot do it, but he's polite, your job is done. So therefore, I request all of you, you are in a position where you can ruin a person's life, you can make his life, but the least you can do is be polite. There are many, many good ways of doing things without being rude to people. Another thing is, get things done. People come with expectations. Get things done. Don't keep it pending in your file. Don't keep them waiting, saying that it's my lunch time. Of course, we don't have an official lunch time, but a typical State Bank of India joke is that when you go there at 12 o'clock, everybody's gone for lunch. When you go at 2 o'clock, they still haven't come back from lunch. So don't keep things pending, get things done. The quote of Martin Luther King resonates well when he says that if you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But get things moving. Things should move. You should move. You should get things moving. That is very, very